Hey, what's up, everybody? So, man, I want to give a big shout out to all the fathers, man. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. This video is going to be a message to my dad. My dad is no longer here with me. He died when I was 12 years old back in 2015. And every Father's Day, I like to go, visit my dad at the gravesite, go talk to him and all that. But now, since I do have a YouTube channel, I want to be, I want to be as authentic as possible. I want to bring y'all along on my journey of life, and I just want to say to my dad, that I really appreciate you. Me and my dad, even though I was young, we clashed a lot. Even when I was a kid, like I said, I was always a combative kid as, growing up. I used to think my dad hated me. I used to think he didn't like me because he was so hard on me. And, y'all used to push me. I used to run to my mama, little mama's boy. How my mama's titty in my mouth, right? And like a lot of that, we would call that tough, we call it quote unquote tough love and all that. Like I said, it's my words are gonna be kind of slipping up because it's emotional for me, right? But let me real quick. Fuck. All right, look. Damn. Hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie. It's a hard video for me, but look. It says a message to my dad. Like, I grew up, like I said, me and my dad clashed a lot when I was a kid. I used to think he hated me. I used to think he didn't like me. He always used to be on my tail. He used to push me, to, read, do this and that, just do all these things, wake me up early. Have me running like a 2-3 miles in the morning as a fucking kid, bro. I'm out here exercising, doing push-ups. I'm over trying to give up. I ain't got no more energy. He said, keep going, no, keep going. He'll sometimes fucking, he'll pop me upside my head like, nigga, don't be quitting, I'm saying, shit like that. But like I said, as a kid though, as a kid, you don't know, like, you thinking it's a threat because, like, kids, we playful and all that. Like, when somebody's yelling at you and shit, and being hard on you as a kid, you tend to, want to cry, want to be combative. But I was always combative. I've never been the type to cry. Even as a kid, I was always combative. Like, I stood my ground and shit. And, that's what caused me and my dad to clash a lot. I was like that with my teachers, man. Like, my teacher said something to me, I'm like, nah. Always have my own opinion. I'm clashing with everybody, bro. But like I said, though, I used to think my dad hated me, didn't like me. And, now that as I got older, since my dad passed when I was in 8th grade, as I got older throughout the years, needing, kind of guidance in my life, a male to talk to, it's like, damn. And I didn't cry until I was 21 years old about my dad's death. I never cried about my dad dying until I was 21 years old. I don't know why. One day I just started breaking down crying. I'm like, fuck, I miss my fucking dad. I want my dad here. I was just fucking crying my ass out, bro. I was fucking crying, man. And maybe I need to release that. But that day forward, I have realized the reason why my dad was the way he was on me. Now that I'm older, it's like my dad was preparing me for right now. When I was a kid, I don't know if my dad knew he was going to die by the time I was in 8th grade, because my dad always used to say, when I'm long and gone, you're going to be the man of the house. He telling me this shit when I was fucking 8 years old, 9 years old, telling me, when I'm long and gone, you're going to have to be the man of the house. You're going to have to be handling business. Like, you saying that shit when I was 8, 9 years old. Like, what the fuck? Like, but now I'm older. I'm like, damn, did he know he was ready to go, like, before I was even this age, but like now it's like the same shit he imprinted on me when I was a kid. I'm doing that shit now. Like, now I'm getting back to it. I'm working out every fucking day. I'm getting up early, waking up early, getting to it, working out, recording these videos, staying consistent, not giving up, not giving up on myself, going through the fucking pain, even when the days I don't feel like showing up, I still fucking show up. I'm not quitting on myself. These are the things my dad put in me when I was a kid. Reading books. My dad he put this into me when I was a kid, and I didn't know what he was doing. And I took it as a bad thing, right? But now that I'm a man, it's like, bro, my dad was fucking giving me the blueprint to this life shit. You know, he's giving me a blueprint to this life shit. Although, yeah, do I wish he could have did it in a more, you know, loving manner, more soft manner? Hell yeah, man. You know, so and that resulted in me like all the constructive criticism I did receive as a kid, that caused self-sabotaging behavior in myself. I always thought I wasn't good enough because my dad was like, no, better. No, you can do better. You can do better. So I'm always hard on myself. You know, which is good to be hard on yourself, to be better and better. But it's like now, it caused me to just be self-sabotage. Like, damn, if I do this, oh, everybody's gonna say this. So little constructive criticism throughout life just always immediately made me fold back and retreat. You know, but now, since I have overcame that self-sabotaging behavior, since I overcame all that shit, now I'm free to be myself. I could talk how I want to on camera. I'm not afraid to say what I have to say. You know, I'm not afraid to be vulnerable, man. I don't give a fuck no more because now it's like I done been fucking in the fucking dumps, in the darkness and shit. You know, I've been looked at the dark side of myself, the shit I don't like about myself. And guess what? I had to accept that side about myself. And you know what I do? I have to fucking work on those things, you know? I have to be myself, positive self-talk daily, you know, which keeps me going, man. Like, I'm not in the position I want to be in my life right now. But now that I know my fucking power and shit, okay, I'm gonna give what God fucking gave me. I'm gonna give what infinite intelligence gave me. And guess what the fuck I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fucking make it happen, man. You know, my dad put that in me, you know, as a fucking kid. You know, now I'm growing into that shit. You feel me? And I just want to tell my fucking dad, I fucking love you. You know, I miss you. You know, mom miss you. Short, my sister miss you. And, you know, we all miss you, man. But look, I can promise you one thing, daddy. I can promise you one thing, I would not fucking give up. I would not fucking quit. Because I remember what you told me. No pain, no gain. Can't is not in your vocabulary. You can do anything you want to. You put that in me. And I always remember that. And I love you, Dad. And it's life shit. This shit easy, you know, because now that you put what you put inside me, it's gonna be with me forever, you know. And I'm going to take care of mom. I'm going to take care of my sister. I almost said my sister's name. I don't know why, but I'm gonna take care of mom. I'm gonna take care of sister, you know. And like you said, I'm the fucking man now, right? I'm the fucking man, you know. So like I said, it's all over the place, you know. My emotions is all over the place right now, you know. I wish my dad was here, man. I could put him on video and shit and talk to y'all and all that. You know, me and my dad's relationship would be fucking great right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you now. That's who I am right now, you know. But this shit beautiful, man. Like, and I'm kind of, you know, and I'm living my life freely, do what I want to do, man. And yeah, I just want to put that out there, man. Man, if you still got your dad in your life, man, your dad trying to put that, you know, give me that quote unquote tough love, don't take it as anything negative. He's just trying to prevent you from making the same mistakes he did. He's trying to make you the strong man that he probably wasn't growing up. That's just all it is, man. Like, I don't want you being how I was growing up. My dad, you know, like, my dad was kind of a people pleaser, you know, he was a people pleaser and all that. And my dad, he was a hard worker though. That's where I get my hard work from. That's where I get my work ethic from. That's why I'm able to upload daily on YouTube, no matter fucking what. My dad had that work ethic. My dad worked, 3 fucking jobs just to provide for the family. And I'm willing to work overtime, I'm willing to do this and that, and still put these videos out, and still do what the fuck I gotta do, you know. So my dad put that in me as well, just that work ethic, man. And that's why I know I will win, because just like, it just in me, you know. It just in me. It's in me. My dad put it in me, man. And I had to realize my fucking power, man. And, you know, one thing I can't say is that, you know, one thing I can't say is that, like, you know, my dad was afraid to take certain risks in life, you know. which is probably why I was afraid to even get on camera, you know, and talk. And my dad could have started, you know, a business. You know, he had the opportunity to, but he doubted himself. He was afraid what people was gonna say. You know, my dad's gone now, so I can say this, whatever. But you know, and that's one thing I learned to not do. Be afraid to put myself out there anymore. You know, not doubt myself. You know, be me. You know, not doubt myself. You know, go all in on myself. You know, so whatever I do, you know, I will win. You know, so that's one thing I can say, like, that's an advantage of my dad dying early, is because I can see the things that I don't want to be that I saw my dad growing up. You know, now I be thinking about shit a lot. You know, my dad did give up a lot, you know. Sometimes I feel like he gave up on the battle with cancer, you know. My dad only lasted 6 months, right? He only lasted 6 months with cancer, man, and I just seen my dad break down right in front of my eyes. Like, he went from this fucking happy individual, sad as fuck, man. Just, you see it, you just know when a man that gave up. Seen it in my dad's eyes, man. Like, as a kid, I knew he was gonna die. I think that's probably why I didn't cry, because I seen it in his eyes, like, damn. Told my sister, right here. I said, sure, he gone. Before he was even gone. Fuck, said my sister's name. But, like I said, I was like, he gone. You know, my dad did end up going, but like I just knew he gave up. So in a long time, I did have some type of anger towards my dad as well. You know, I feel like he gave up on me, my mom and sister, you know. And I'm like, why the fuck did you leave us? Sometimes I'm yelling at this guy, why the fuck did you leave us? You know, I was mad at God, why the fuck did you take my dad away? You know? And, you know, a lot of times with life, you know, when people do go that's close to you, you know, I feel like you only be grieving for selfish reasons and shit. You be mad for selfish reasons, but it's just like, my dad just wasn't happy no more. He was in a place that he didn't want to be in. Like, I mean, imagine from being outside active every day, doing what you love, to being in a fucking hospital fucking bed for 6 months. Being in a hospital room for 6 months. You know what the fuck that would do to somebody? For somebody that's active out here and shit, my dad was fucking depressed, man. I don't understand why my dad did end up just going. Like, he didn't want to keep going through that shit. You know, because my dad did almost go into remission the next fucking week. That shit came back, and that's when my dad folded. And I felt like he tell me no pain, no gain. I'm like, God damn. I felt like he was a bitch. I said, God damn. Like, now I'll be thinking, I'm like, damn, you been a bitch ass nigga. Like, you feel me? But I understand why my dad did, you know, he did. I understand why my dad did, you know, end up, you know, being ready to go. So, you know, I'm letting all this shit out because just one of those days, man. You know, I can say this shit because like he's gone now, you know. So, I mean, I just want to be transparent as possible, man. But you know, like I said though, besides that, like my dad, man, a great ass father. You know, if you stare at your dad in your life, appreciate your dad, man. Like, fathers don't get enough recognition. So all the fathers out there doing what they doing, take care of the family, man. You fucking great, man. You great. Keep fucking going. You know, don't give up, man. I know it may be challenging in times and all that, but you got this shit, man. Any fathers out there, happy Father's Day. You know, I send all my love to all y'all, man. You know, stay strong out there. You know, continue being a strong man for your family, you know, your wife and kids, whoever, man. You know, and all the people out there who do have their father in their life, still appreciate your father, especially if they're a good father. If y'all got a good relationship, man, keep that shit close, man. You know, because a lot of times I do wish my dad was here, man, be out here working out and shit. You know, I want to work out with my dad, man, do fucking Muay Thai and shit like that with my dad, man, because he was into that type of stuff, you know. I wish my dad was here to do that shit. I wish I had somebody to fucking talk to. I wish I had my dad to talk to, man. But, you know, it is what it is, man. Life is what's gonna do, man. And guess what, man? I gotta keep fucking going. I gotta remain unstoppable. I gotta be great every single day. You know, I gotta do this shit for my dad. I gotta do this shit for my mom and sister, man. You know, cause who else? If not, who else, man? So hey, I love y'all. Peace.